3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
So am I.
We are back, baby. And not only that, we are one of my favorite songs, Back in Black, because we both have on our black Dennis and Andy Show shirts. We've got our banner that we're going to take to conventions behind us. And yes, it does get taller than that, but for the show, that's good enough.
It fits perfectly.
It fits perfectly. That's what she said.
Exactly.
Nice. So yes, we are back. Dennis is back from his 2-week vacation in Hawaii. You can't really tell he got a tan.
Hawaii, yes, which is so close to Wisconsin, it's scary how you confuse the two.
There's beaches in Wisconsin.
There are. We actually did go to one.
See, close enough.
Rock Lake has a beach,
What?
which we never knew because they always swam on the rock side, but now there's a beach. So we did. I did get to see one.
Water wasn't probably crystal clear like Hawaii, though.
It was not. It wasn't bad, but it was not. It was definitely not Hawaii.
Any babes in thongs like Hawaii?
No, we're in Wisconsin.
Oh.
Yes. Midwife's farmers' daughters.
Wait,
Just
hold
remember,
on.
the Beach Boys got it right.
Any babes?
There were some. There were some. There's Wisconsin hot, and then there's real hot.
And then there's the rest of the country.
Yeah.
No, the town I grew up in, you could say the same thing, so that's okay.
It is. It's fine.
It works.
It was fine. Besides, but man, it's great to be back. We are the heroes that you guys need.
That's right. Not the ones you necessarily want. So, like, you know, if your building's on fire, I'm not rushing in to save you. Now, if there's a dog in the building, I'll kick you out of the way and use you as a shield to save the dog.
He would,
or cat, but not you. And if there's a fish, I'm just going to let him boil in his water and die slowly.
Wow, what a fish hater!
No, it's just, you know, they won't know. No. It's not going to be instant boil, instant death. It's going to be throwing like the frog or the lobster into the boiling pot. It goes slow. They don't know it, and then he just dies.
That is just like the frog. It is the boiling frog test.
Yeah, it's lobster. I thought is it?
No,
frog?
it's frog. Yes, if you turn it up slowly, the frog doesn't know he's being boiled. It is literally a thing. You can Google it. Yes, it's the boiling.
No, frog. I know it's a thing. I just thought it was lobster. Not frog.
No. Lobsters that's when they're full boiling, and then you put them in, and they screech and go, ee!
And you can hear some popping.
And then my daughter never wants to eat it again. So now we've got an interesting test. So you guys saw the intro that we just did on our Monday video. Guess what happened? Mean, nasty, old YouTube gave us 3 strikes.
Well,
on a video.
Well, hold on. You don't want to use the word strike in case YouTube sees this, because a strike is a real thing. We actually didn't get it. If you get a strike on your channel, you get 3 strikes and they pull your channel.
Oh.
So we didn't get a strike.
What did they call it?
We got a notification. I went to the video the next day to check it out, and it said this video can't be played here because of blah blah blah. And I was like, what the hell? So I talked to Dennis, because Dennis, it's under his sign, and it doesn't matter. Dennis controls the stuff. So we had 3 copyright strikes for the video.
Right, so, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, 3 copyright strikes. That's different. Yeah.
Right. So they said we can't monetize, which we're not eligible for anyway because we don't have enough subscribers yet.
But only you can make that happen.
That's right.
So
and prevent forest fires.
Prevent forest fires, and more importantly, if you don't live near a forest, You don't care about those then, so hit like and subscribe to the channel.
That's right. So what was interesting is Andy goes, so can you tell what it is? Well, you have to start digging really deep into it. Well, we wound up really digging in, and I finally found out, and I'm like, oh yeah, there was the name of this unknown song that said that we played, and I'm like, I don't even know the name of that song because we don't use anything that's copyrighted.
Well, one of the songs was Respect. You know, respect. Just a little bit.
So songs 1 and 3 that they said were unknown songs that we have never heard of. The middle song that it said at this point was Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. And I was like, I'm like, dude, we never played that. And he's like, no, we would never do that. So we went in there and I went and copy and pasted and found the other 2 that they said. And I'm like, and I'm watching the videos of these songs. I'm like, yeah, that's not ours whatsoever.
No, we use, and I will give a shout out, a website called bensound.com, which is copyright free music. And they have some music which you can download for free. Or if there's another track you like on their website, you just pay a nominal fee and then you download it. But, you know, I'm cheap, so I download the free stuff, but it's copyright free. So never had an issue.
Yep. All of a sudden we got 3, and I'm like, particularly Aretha Franklin, we would know you could not use that song. So,
because I respect her.
That's right. So the only options that we have, it says you can either, you know, delete the video, you can remove all the sound from everything over the start and the ending point that they said that you're playing at, or they have this new beta feature that allows you to basically pull up and just try and remove the music. And I was like, well, if we want it to be shown, I guess we'll try doing it. And it's an incredibly long, tedious process. And yeah, we went and checked, and they did remove the sound from like our intro. Afterwards, all of a sudden it just goes.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, not much, maybe a couple seconds.
Yeah,
or so.
But there's no way to properly get in contact with YouTube, because obviously I went through the help menu and went on there, and I was like, your algorithm sucks. Your algorithm is wrong. You misidentified all 3 of the songs that you classified because they weren't even in there. I'm like, we don't use any royalty music.
And let me tell you something. The one thing, Dennis, I hate is being misidentified.
That's right.
Do not misidentify us. Okay?
That's right. We are DNA.
Exactly.
Easy enough to remember. Don't use any other letters.
But yeah, so I mean, it was ridiculous. And, you know, just like the thing that kills me with YouTube and Facebook and any of those things, Twitter, there's no phone number you can call. Like, you remember back in the day when you had an issue with a company or service?
Right.
You'd usually call 1-800 number. You get the stupid phone bank of, if you want this, press this. If you want this, press this. Blah, blah, blah. There's nobody you can even call, which is ridiculous for those companies that make that much money that they don't have a call center.
Well, look what has happened with my Facebook. Remember with that Facebook, it got hacked. There was physically nobody to talk to. And you can even Google it and they say, yeah, there is no one to talk to. Here's a number, but it's a defunct number. And they don't want you to, and it puts you into a catch-22. What an absolute nightmare, because they don't care.
They do not care.
And we're sad because this should be a good platform for everybody. Stop censoring things and then mis-censoring something that didn't exist.
And it's really a conspiracy because we were not too kind to the Black Widow movie. Dennis, more than me, was not kind to it. And I might actually poke it a joke this time. You weren't.
6.5 is not a terrible movie.
No, and I said 7.0 by the end of it. Now, I did drop a couple F-bombs during our review of it, but
that's
still.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. But anyhow, you know who is nice to you? I am, with my fulfillment of First Man, which is in demand. It's shilling time. Shilling time.
And you just shilled this morning and had to send some out.
That's right. I shilled this morning, sent one off to Australia. Thank you very much. In demand, 64-page graphic novel, goes out the door. Well, now it would be tomorrow if you back it. 64 pages, fun-filled action. If you like Spider-Man type humor and Captain Marvel, Shazam, Billy Batson changing into a great hero, then you'll love this story of Luke Henry changing into this guy to fight this large guy, Monarch, with help from the ever so vivacious Penumbra. So if you haven't backed it, back it now. It's getting great reviews from the people that have backed it. So everybody that has, thank you very much. And check that out. Also, before we get on with it, First Man Volume 2 Learning Curve. There's a link in the description below the video for this and for First Man Volume 1. Sign up, and once I launch the campaign, you will get an extra 10% off. Ooh. For signing up. Just type in your email address, boom, you'll get an extra 10% off. That's the easy way to go. You know what? I say we watch the video because somebody might be going, well, what's First Man Volume 2? It's this. Oh my God, that is so thrilling. It had me on the edge of my seat every time I see it. I had to hold Dennis down. He was shaking so hard.
I did.
He
My
can't.
shoulder popped out.
Yeah, exactly. He can't wait for it. So sign up, get 10% off when the campaign launches, which I'm thinking about launching on Friday. So there you go. Now we know what time it is. It's time for What Did the Boys Get?
It's Wednesday, new comic book day.
2 weeks you guys went without knowing what we bought. Are we going to fill in those 2 week gaps?
Nope.
No, we're not, because
there's too many books.
I actually had a big week last week. I picked up like 5 things, which, trust me, is huge for me. This guy, you don't even want to know. Yeah, too many books. So we're just going to continue on. Like the past 2 weeks just went right by. So here we go. Batman Detective. This is a book I'm getting. Tom Taylor writing it, Andy Kubert doing the art. I love Andy's art and storytelling. And the actual story in this, I'm happy to say, is a really good detective story. So I give it 2 thumbs up. The basic gist is, in the first issue, I don't mind saying this because it's been out. In the first issue, Batman comes, there's basically a plane that was hijacked. The plane goes down. Everybody on the plane dies. You come to find out they were all people that Batman has saved in Gotham City one way or another. And you're just like, whoa, he went through the trouble of saving all these people throughout his career, and they all end up on this plane that goes down. So he needs to find out why, what's happening. So issue 4 came out, and I got it. And, well, that is every book you will see from here on out is a Dennis book.
I know, that just kind of makes me sad.
It makes me sad, too, because, honestly, I looked and I looked. Like, I'll be honest. I picked up this to look through because I'm like, oh, Thor and Cat fighting. But then I'm like, it's issue 15. I don't have 1 through 14. Forget it.
Yeah, it's Thor. Everybody knows I've been picking up Thor. It's been good. It's been good. I'll keep picking it up. It's going to probably stay right there with my X titles unless something changes.
Cool.
Excalibur. With the aftermath of everything that's been going on with the gala and stuff. We're gonna finally start seeing, the effects of the large gala. You can always go back and check out our previous videos and stuff like that. If you want to see what how the gala ended, the big news and everything, and now we get to see what's going on in Britain.
Ooh,
Yeah.
they brought back Captain Britain, their original Captain Britain in his original costume. I would buy Excalibur just because of that. But no.
Yeah, he's actually got a different title.
Oh,
Way of X.
Wait. Is he General Britain?
No, he's not.
Masters of Arms Britain?
Nope.
Sergeant Slaughter Britain?
Nope. Captain Avalon, I think, is his
Captain Avalon?
Yeah.
What is he going door to door selling makeup?
Yeah, something
I'm the Avalon lady, and I know it's Avon, but
I
you
know.
hear Avalon, and you're just like,
I know. My grandmother was an Avon lady, so I know all about it.
that's sad.
Way of X,
Took his genitals away.
have not been overly impressed with Way of X.
Wow. Is this a mini? I don't remember.
Not supposed to be. Kind of hoping it is. So yeah, I've been a little less than stellarly pleased.
Ooh, no, we don't like to hear that.
It's not Children of Adam bad, but yeah, same thing with X Corp. It's just kind of unnecessary. This is dealing with the pharmaceuticals and stuff.
Yeah, I mean this.
When you think of a really good superhero movie or a comic book, you think of pharmaceuticals.
I was about to say, I mean, nothing against this cover and stuff. It's actually a cool design and everything. But I mean, seriously, this book cannot be selling even over 50. I just can't see this book selling over 15, 20,000 tops.
You know,
in this day and age.
Maybe we'll have to look up. This will be one of the research projects. Look up to see which comic books haven't been selling, because I'm assuming they'll still release numbers even if they're delayed a little bit.
I think we should be able to find it, because this is just ridiculous. Who cares? Ooh, hey guys, what's the evil pharmaceutical man doing today?
Yeah, it's an X book. Yeah. Now, Aliens Aftermath. Now this one's kind of interesting. You know, it's the 35th anniversary.
Yep.
And it's a return to Hadley's Hope. It's been 35 years since the tragedy of the Hadley's Hope colony, but what happened to that ill-fated venture that has been shrouded in mystery?
Now, that's the one with Sigourney Weaver, right?
Yep.
Obviously.
A renegade crew of investigative journalists are heading towards the moon that Weyland-Yutani has wiped from all their records, but they're going to bring it back the truth, even if it kills them. And what remains in that bombed out site will do just that. So they've got Benjamin Percy, Dave Watcher. Imagine a terrifying possible future for the LV-426 in this celebration of the 35th anniversary. So it looks like it's a one-shot, because I'm looking to see if I can see a number 2, and I don't see number 2 being solicited. So I picked it up because, the regular Alien series has been quite solid. I've enjoyed it. You can go back in and see our reviews and stuff on it.
Benjamin Percy's the guy that writes the new Wolverine series, so
yeah,
maybe it'll be good. You have to let me know. I was on the fence, but I couldn't tell if it was a one shot or not, so I left it on the stand. But if it's a one shot, I might get it, because I do like the Aliens movies and that stuff. So
yeah,
we'll see. Bunny Mask.
Now, Bunny Mask, that was one. Yeah, that was kind of interesting. Life exploded around Tyler Severin as depictions of the Bunny Mask began eerily appearing in his life. This is kind of cool. So you want to go back and probably see the quick flip and then the full review of Bunny Mask #1. This was a really solidly cool book. Andrea Mutti, who did the New York Maniac of New York.
Maniac of New York.
Yep. And again, the style was perfect on it. I absolutely loved the first issue of this. It was really kind of a cool horror thriller. I loved where #1 headed, so I'm glad this came out this week. Now that I'm back, I will be sitting down and reading it. I definitely will be doing quick flips of this stuff, but yeah, stay tuned for this one.
Nice. Might have to trade paperback that one. Norse mythology, Neil Gaiman, P. Craig Russell.
Yeah, this is based off the novel. I did the quick flip of #1. I'll be doing #2. I think it was a pretty good adaptation. I'm liking it. I'm going to continue to pick it up, I think, as long as this quality holds true. So, yep, pretty excited to read this one.
Nice. Beyond the Breach. You know, the funny thing is, when I was, people often ask me, what's your earliest memory? And I say, funny thing, I can remember being born. And I remember thinking to myself, what lies beyond the breach? And I just saw these gloved hands come in to grab my head and pull me out. So I could see what lies beyond the breach. I should sue them for using that title.
Unless they had the exact same experience as you, then dualies.
Yeah, that's my first memory. I remember seeing these green gloved latex hands come in and grab me by my head and just give me a yank.
Wow, that shows how old you are, because you're not green anymore.
Oh, it was 50 years ago.
Exactly.
So, you know.
Well, this is interesting because the premise of this one is, and I didn't have this on my list. I happened to look through it when I got there, and it's from Aftershock. Life sucks for Vanessa. Her mother just died, and her boyfriend is cheating on her with her own sister.
Damn.
Right? This went dark right away. To clear her mind, Vanessa is taking the California road trip that she's been dreaming about for years. Obviously, it takes a definite turn to the dark side, but it's written by Ed Brisson from Uncanny X-Men, Ghost Rider, Old Man Logan. So yeah, I kind of want to see where this goes. This is potentially really dark, which could be good, maybe not, but I want to give it a shot.
I think it goes beyond the breach.
I bet it does. I bet. I just wonder if they have green hands reaching in.
I wonder. Well, there's green on the cover. You know, actually, last week, a book I got last week that I do remember was Nocterra number 4.
Yeah, Nocterra came out last week.
4 or 5? I wonder. I can't. God. Whatever. The new issue of Nocterra came out. Man, that book just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Have you read it or no?
Well, I didn't read.
Probably not.
I didn't read last week's, but I did get caught up right before we had left, and that is a really good series.
Yeah, Nocterra just keeps getting better. Scott Snyder, Tony Daniel. I can definitely recommend that. Oh, and Geiger as well came out.
Yeah,
Geiger and Nocterra came out the same week, and I was like, oh man, you're killing me, Smalls.
Hence why you got 5 books.
Exactly. And Geiger was great too. Jeff Johns and Gary Frank bringing it. Had a nice little, I don't know if I'd call it a twist ending, but just a little twist kind of in it that just adds another layer to the story they're building and stuff in the world. And I was like, man, that's really cool.
I read the first 3 and I did a full review, which you guys can go check out. But each one, you're right, they built on it, and there's little twists and little things each issue that go, oh, I want to see what they do with that. Oh, I want to see. So it is a very well-paced book, and it's just right when you're like, oh, that's really cool. And anybody who's thinking, I want to jump off, oh, there's a little hook.
Yeah.
So for you writers out there, they're doing this the right way. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah. Each one of them could make an interesting. I'm trying to think. Geiger, even though it's not over yet, the first story arc, to me, I'd say Geiger falls into a 2-hour movie category. But Nocterra, to me, seems like it could be more of a episodic series.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think Geiger would make a pretty interesting movie. Actually.
Yeah, I think the way it's set up, it's more movie-esque. But Nocterra, each issue seems more like an episode of a series. Moths.
So now this wasn't interesting, and I did a quick flip and a full review on this one. This was really a cool concept. I think it's a 6-issue miniseries. The first one is certain people are born with these abilities, but when they activate, they're good for 6 months and then they die. So they have 6 months to make a lasting impact if they want on the planet.
Can they choose not to activate it?
Don't know yet, because only
I was
the
going to
first
say
issue came out.
I was going to say, if I knew that was the deal, I'd be like, never activate that shit till I'm like 80 years old.
Yeah, the concept was really cool. I really enjoyed the first issue. I really want to see where they're going with this. So I'm very excited that this came out this week too. There's some really potentially good books. I'm going to be doing a lot of reading and a lot of videos this week.
Nice. Barbarella.
Barbarella. We all know Jane from based off the Jane Fonda movie.
Oh, Jane Fonda.
But you know, it was good at the time. And this is a Perillo cover. Oh, Michael's on.
I know, I see. I'm about to pull up. Howdy ho, nerds. Well, thank you, Michael.
I
Howdy
take that
ho
as
to
a
you.
high compliment.
So do I. So there. Yeah, that's a great cover. That is a fantastic cover.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Barbarella fan. I did like a movie for what it was at the time. But, you know, he always puts in a Perillo cover like that for me. So, yeah, I'm going to pick it up and see if it's any good. I'm going to read it. I don't always read just because they're Perillo covers, like some of the Vampirella stuff. I just love the covers. But anyway, this I am going to read.
And she's got nice boobages showing the cleavagers. That's how I
Again?
them on my show.
Perillo
Boobages
or Butte.
Butte. And my next door neighbors, the cleavagers.
Yeah. Helm Greycastle, again, you all know I don't play the game or anything like that, but it was been a fun, pretty interesting story. The artwork has been solid. I know Andy just flipped
Yeah, the
through
art
that
does. It's different art than the cover. Not saying against the cover, just saying that if you're not familiar with the book, this is a variant cover, so the art on the inside is different.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yeah, it's good. The story's been good, so I think it's a mini series also, so I'm gonna, read this to its natural conclusion and keep it on the list.
There you go. Dynamite Lives.
Yep. Now that one, I wound up picking up the first one because, again, thank you, Perillo, made me get another cover, and it was kind of interesting. So I decided to pick up number 2 and see if it continues. It's kind of their, zombie kind of thing. It was kind of interesting. So I'm giving it a shot. We're going to see if I'll continue this one or not.
Nice. Captain Harlock.
Now, I did do a quick flip and a full review of this one. You can check it out. This I thoroughly enjoyed, more than I thought I would. It really does harken me back to Star Blazers, now called Battleship Yamato. The characters are similar.
The art is fantastic.
It is.
It's literally like it just came off the TV screen with the style of the animation of the cartoon. The artist on the inside of the book is really matching it perfectly. It's great.
It is. We called it Japanimation back in the day. It's manga now, but it is like you're right. They pull it right off.
Why do you have to pull racist stuff on our show?
What are you talking about?
Japanimation?
Yeah, that was an actual term. If we get a strike because you said that.
Hey, when you were out of town, I hope you masked up because I don't need to be catching the woo flu from you right away. I'm just saying, you were out of town for 2 weeks.
Not a chance in hell.
I don't need the woo flu flying.
I didn't even bring a mask with me.
You son of a.
Yay, Tarna, the last Terrakion. The final issue of the heavy metal one comes to an end. I cannot wait. They gave us 30 full pages on this one. Can't wait to see how it ended. I have thoroughly enjoyed this story. Now, not everybody does. I have.
The one thing, what issue number is this? Is it
that's 6.
6.
Yep.
6 issues, but there's been 3 artists, and that just kind of bothers me. If you know you're doing a 6-issue miniseries, you should try to plan it far enough in advance to where you can have one artist draw all 6, or if you're going to bounce like that between artists, have their styles match up a little better. Now, I will say the artists that they've had on this series are all great. They're good artists. So kudos for getting good artists to do it. But for a 6-issue series, you couldn't just have one artist do the whole thing. And then let me ask your opinion on this. I don't read it, but I did see, I think in issue 5, is it issue 5 where she puts on that spacesuit looking thing right there?
I think it would have been the one right before this.
And I know I saw some people blowing up online about heavy metal losing their edge because they put clothes on her compared to what she regularly wears, which is very skimpy, and I'm like, well,
It was part of the story.
I think, and I haven't read it, so if it's part of the story, I think it works. And I don't look at what Tarna generally wears, say from issue 1, 2, whatever, as a uniform. I just look at it as clothing that she changes. Whereas Captain America, Superman, Batman, those to me are iconic uniform / costume.
Or sometimes she has her outfit, or sometimes she has nothing.
And sometimes she's naked. So I mean, I don't know. I didn't really see the big whoop about her. But once again, I'm not totally
I enjoyed the story
in it. Yeah, so I guess as long as it works with the story, then who gives a crap?
Right. I mean, it's not like Captain Marvel, when she was Miss Marvel, and they had her in her great outfits with the sash and everything like that. And then they gave her the butch mohawk haircut and then clothed her up from neck to toe, and you're like, okay. Yeah, it's still her.
Pancaked her boobies and everything.
I know.
How could you do that? I know.
But this has been fun. I can't wait to see it. But if Heavy Metal does watch this video, let us know why you have different art, especially on a 6-issue like miniseries.
Yeah, just
why would you not? That is a great point.
My default answer is scheduling.
Yeah.
They scheduled it. They put it out. The first artist on the book couldn't meet the deadlines. And they were like, all right, look, we got to move on and get a different artist because we got to keep. Has this actually been coming out monthly or is it late? Do you know what I mean? Has it been 6 months? Is this like the 6 months?
It's close. If it has been late, it's been slightly late because I haven't followed it that closely in terms of their schedule.
We're in July, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the first issue came out 2021, not last year.
Yeah, it was either December, January.
Yeah. So so look, if 6 issues comes out, and like we don't know, but if 6 issues come out over the course of 6 months, it's on time. If it's 7 or 8 months, that's close enough. To be honest, that's close enough. So
since you asked,
what does it say?
Look at that, December 16th, 2020.
So okay, so we're into July, so 8 months.
Yep. So it was December, January, February, March, April, and then
May, June.
May and June.
So the last issue, it is 30 pages.
Yeah.
So it's bigger, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they had to bounce artists because of schedule, and in that regard, then you need to do a better job scheduling your stuff to give the artist enough lead time so you can have one artist draw the whole thing.
But on the flip side, at least it wasn't that late, say, like G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Right. Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
You knew what I meant.
Which, by the way, Snake Eyes came out last week, too. It was the final issue of, it was called Dead Game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I obviously haven't even, I just ran yesterday and got all my books for the last 2 weeks, so I haven't even had a chance to look at it.
But Rob did this thing where he laid out the whole issue, or penciled the whole issue, and he had different artists ink different pages throughout the whole book. If it was a single page, one artist inked that single page. If it was a double page spread, one artist inked the double page spread. I thought it was awesome seeing these different artists because not all of them, in fact, most of the guys that worked on it aren't just inkers. They're all artists in their own right. They do their own penciling inking as well. And I thought the combination of seeing these guys like Art Taber, Dan Fraga, Dan Panosian, Neil Adams inked a great 2-page spread. Ryan Otley of Invincible fame did a fantastic 2-page spread. Different guys inked it. I think it was worth the wait because of that. I thought it was a great issue seeing these different artists ink over Rob's pencils. I'm just hurt that I wasn't one of them, but I'm over it now. I know I'm a little bit sometimes. Death Life.
So this was an interesting one because number 3 appeared in my poll, and I'm like, this looks like something I'd give a shot, but I didn't get 1 and 2. So I don't know what happened with this one. We went and looked, and 1 and 2 aren't available. So
They
are not available through Diamond. So I am going to be hunting because it looks kind of interesting.
eBay.
Yep, that I may wind up eBaying it, or we got a convention this weekend, a little one. Maybe somebody will have one there. So I'm going to look before I go shopping online. So I'm curious, but I just wanted to show if anybody's out there heard of this, let me know. You know, and I'll check some of the other shops around the area too.
There you go. Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Now this one I had put on an order, but there was a special cover, and I'm just going to show you. That is a pretty cool cover.
Hold on, I get the mouse over there.
I know, but check out this variant.
Oh, give me a second. So
I
I see
know.
the mouse from back here. These old eyes. These old eyes of mine.
Come on, old man.
I am. I'm clicking. There it is.
Just check out that cover.
Look at the booty on that girl.
That is just an absolutely beautiful picture. I hope the story's good too. It's a 3-issue miniseries. But yeah, that cover, I remember seeing the ad for it, and I'm like, absolutely, I'm getting it. The main cover looks really good, but you know, this gigantic, awesome looking woman sitting there, that is just a perfect Virgin cover.
Oh, I like it just because of that.
Yeah, see, even Mikey says it's cool.
Oh, does he now?
He
Well, I
does.
think
Look at that.
I'll even show that. Damn it, I lost my mouse again. There it is. I'm always losing my mouse, if you know what I mean.
I think
And for some reason, it's not.
your battery's died or something.
Nope. Wow,
See?
that's cool. No, it's not the battery. It's what it's sitting on. It's sitting on my iPad. Who needs a story with assets like that? AAT, baby.
That's right. Isn't that?
AAT.
So anyway, the art looks great on the inside. So I will definitely be doing a quick flip, probably a full review of the first one. And it's only a 3-issue miniseries, so it's probably worth a shout.
You'll know if the quick flip is before or after if he read it. It's after if the pages stick together.
That is true. Then I have to get a second issue. Well, I would go buy one of those then.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cherry Blackbird.
So we need to give a shout out to one of our regulars. He wound up giving us 2 copies. He sent it to us, and it was Pop Culture.
Yep, Pop Culture Avenger.
Avenger. So we had talked about this because everybody was sold out around here, and I couldn't get my issue of Cherry Blackbird. He was on one of our streams, found out that we couldn't get him here. The guys that had done it were there, and he had actually was able to get us copies, and he sent us copies of Cherry Blackbird, and then the other one is a Drywall Unzipped, which was really cool. This was a totally, and I'm so glad he did. That's why I'm giving you a shout out, because the story behind this is really neat. Now, this is definitely for mature audiences only. Rock star Cherry Blackbird sold her soul for fame. Now, at the age of 26, time is running short. The day she turns 27, she'll be dragged to hell. So she sold her soul to the devil. But Cherry is not one to go quite quietly. The devil tasks her with collecting the 7 demonic souls that have escaped from the abyss. And it's really graphic because I read this. I loved it. And he says, basically, it's the 7 deadly sins have escaped the hell in forms of demons. If she can basically, she's got 1 year before her soul gets dragged to hell, and they number the days. If she can capture all 7 of the sins and put them back in hell, then he will spare her eternal damnation. This is just a pretty interesting concept. I love it. I thought the artwork was solid in it. It is definitely down dirty. Great. I'm going to do a full review on this because this was just a great issue. So anyway, thank you once again, Pop Culture, for sending it. So that was awesome.
Dragging her straight to hell.
Yep.
Oh my. Oh my. Just saying. If you're dragging her straight to hell,
Yep.
that gets an oh my.
Yep. And then lastly,
Hold on.
and this was the other one he sent us. And this one, I'm going to be honest, I was not all that familiar with. Drywall Unzipped. It's the full color origin of Scud's zippered sidekick. No Plot Summary sells this book. It said, so, you know, you just kind of need to experience it. So it's about Scud. and this character makes his debut apparently in Scud 13. I was not all that familiar with this book, so anyway, kudos for sending this. I got it. This was a fun book. I was not familiar with the universe at all and what had been created, but it is something I'm going to look in. So once again, I appreciate it.
There you go. Now it's time to talk. Chris Pratt blows it up in The Tomorrow War. Dun, dun, dun.
I had no idea that this movie was getting heat when I decided to watch this.
Getting heat?
It was getting heat from people. Apparently, on multiple sides, other sides of the aisle. One likes it, one doesn't. And I didn't know this when I watched it. I just sat down and watched the movie. And then I found out afterwards there's a whole bunch of crap going on.
So
I've been unplugged for 2 weeks.
So it's Chris Pratt starring in a movie that is produced Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. If you don't, you can just pay the rental fee, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The basic story is it takes place today, 2021, and 30 years in the future, there's a war against these aliens, and the human race is losing. So they create this time travel, time machine to send people back to recruit current day people to go fight this war.
Military and civilians.
Military, and Chris Pratt is an ex-military guy. He's now a high school science teacher. Yeah, it's high school. Yeah.
Yep. Who's named Dan Forrester.
Dan Forrester, high school science teacher by day, kick-ass future warrior by night. No, seriously though, it stars Chris Pratt. It stars, oh my God, I'm blanking on the woman that plays his wife, but I love her.
From The Hunt.
Yeah, from The Hunt. What's her name there?
Betty Gilpin.
Betty Gilpin from The Hunt.
Because we loved her in The Hunt.
Oh, and she's also from the Netflix wrestling show Glow.
Glow. She was great in Glow.
She was and you got to see her naked in Glow. So 2 thumbs up there. I've got no problem saying that because I'm a man, and if you're hot, I would give you kudos. And she's hot, and she's just awesome on screen. So she plays his wife. He has a 9-year-old little daughter in the movie. He gets drafted. Actually, did he get drafted, or did I see now?
No, he got drafted.
Okay.
And he's determined to save the world for his young daughter. So he winds up teaming up with a brilliant scientist, Yvonne Strahovski, which as soon as even my wife and daughter watched the movie with me, and she goes, "Oh, it's Chuck's girl."
Yep.
That's what she remembers him from.
Yep.
Who's also really hot. I've always loved her. She
great.
was fantastic in Chuck. One of our kind of favorites, and I'm glad to see her in something, and she was great in this. And then his estranged father, J.K. Simmons.
Awesome.
He was.
And he looked buff as shit in this
right.
movie too, dude.
And that was not digital. That man has been working out, maybe for this role, maybe for the farmer insurance commercial, but he was great.
Well, he did work out for Commissioner Gordon.
Oh.
And I don't know the time frame of actually when this was filmed because you see the Commissioner Gordon, but then after that was Endgame, or no, after that was the second Spider-Man movie where he showed up as J. Jonah Jameson again. Even though you only saw his face, he just didn't have it in the neck either. So
right.
I'm a little confused with the timing of when this movie was filmed, but yeah, he was jacked.
Yeah, even his neck, like you said, you see it coming down on there, and he was buff.
And one of my favorite actors, Sam Richardson, was in it, and he plays this guy. He plays
Charlie.
He plays Charlie. No, I know that, but I'm trying to describe his character. Now, let me just show this stream. He's this guy right here. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. He's this guy right here. And he is more known for humorous type roles. So his character, I thought he was just playing the role he usually plays, to be honest. Kind of the comedic sidekick type guy.
Yeah.
But he played it so well. He had some great lines.
He was the comic relief in this.
Yeah.
Now the cool thing is, unlike Black Widow, so both of them had their humor, trying to alleviate moments. In Black Widow, some of them fell deaf, some of them were good. His humor in this landed almost every time, but it wasn't also overly used. But he was really good. The stuttering, he gets stutter when he nervous, and so the guy that you see on the left on that picture, kind of pull it up.
I'll show you.
Yeah, you got to see that. So that's Edwin Hodge. He plays Dorian on the left.
This guy,
he
right
is
here.
awesome. He's ex-military. He's got a limited life for a reason, and he's there to go out in a blaze of glory and try and help the man. He was great. Yvonne was fantastic in her role. Chris Pratt was great, and then I absolutely loved Sam Richardson. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
We won't give spoilers away from besides what was in the trailer because you should watch it.
Because there's some cool twists.
There's some cool twists. You definitely have to suspend your belief. I mean, any movie these days, you go into it knowing, this shit's not going to happen. Even Mission Impossible, with some of the stunts they do in those, that no, that's not going to happen. But there are things that you would like to think about more, like these. They take basically modern day. The weapons they take aren't from the future, right?
No.
Yeah, they take modern day guns. It's aliens that they fight. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. But what's cool is the design of the aliens was cool because that's the thing. With so many movies out there now, when it comes to being a creature designer, if somebody comes up and is like, we need a new, different type of alien, you're kind of like, because there's so many out there. Really nice job, I thought. I thought the aliens looked unique.
Yeah, the weapons that they take are, for any of you Stargate fans out there, they were like the P90s from the series. They're some of the best that we have, the best ammo and stuff like that, and they're good. But
did it? And tell me if I'm wrong, but did it fall into the category once again of, wow, those guns just don't run out of ammunition?
Well, they do make a comment on there, and you see the mags, and they're seeing them, so they're on there. And now we were just making a comment because I wound up watching it twice. And then my wife and daughter literally just made the comment, wow, those things don't run out of ammo. And then you see the girl, one of the soldiers, she pulls down because she's out of ammo. Right. So you don't see her reloading it, but you do. I'm like, okay. They just don't make it a point of exaggerating the point.
Okay.
But the movie, some of the criticism that I've already heard, which, when you're coming out with a sci-fi movie, good luck coming up with something totally original because most everything's been done. But really, it is Starship Troopers is exactly what I kind of thought about this movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
Buenos Aires, they mentioned. I'm like, at least Buenos Aires survived, this movie, unlike Starship Troopers, where that was the first one wiped out. It's a good bug killing type of a movie. It's got the horror of Alien, and the aliens are kind of a mixture of the xenomorphs from Alien in combination with The Quiet Place.
Yeah, I'd say that.
But they're kind of unique. They've got some interesting properties.
And I don't consider this a spoiler. There's a queen. So if you think about bee colonies and the queen, or even ants and the queen, protect the queen, blah, blah, blah. There's kind of that aspect to it. There are a couple twists. I don't want to say if they are.
It's again very much like Starship Troopers from that aspect of it. There's a little bit of Prometheus for those of you that are fans of the Alien. The Prometheus, because they've got this interesting finding that they do that kind of harkens back to that. So they kind of take out, they have to travel in time. So it's dealing with, the time travel, going through a vortex. It's really cool how they teleport. It's kind of like Stargate again. So now there's another reference to another sci-fi.
Well, what I was going to say is I really think it could have been big screen, theatrical type movie. Because honestly, there's nothing. It has all the elements of a big theatrical release, and I actually rank it up there. Not necessarily rank it in my score, what I'm going to grade it as, but visually, it's just as good as any of the Jurassic Parks that Chris Pratt's been in. Hey, Dennis, how many more sci-fi references can you squeeze into the review?
Just keep watching. I'm sure I'll come up with some more.
You can come up with more. I thought it was very Blade Runner, and I'm kidding. It was Demolition Man. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
King Kong, maybe. No, not really.
It's got elements of a lot of different ones.
It does, but I mean, look, it's hard these days to come up with an original concept.
But this concept was really cool how they did it, because it isn't a blatant ripoff. They've got elements of all these different things, because almost anything, if you and I sat down tonight and said, let's make up this sci-fi, no matter what we come up with, somebody's going to go, oh, The Thing, oh, this, oh, it's that. And it's true, but their concept and how they executed around it was very well done.
One thing I thought was cool, and this is kind of a spoiler, but it's not huge. All the people they recruit to send into the future, remember, they send them 30 years in the future. All the people they recruit to send into the future die before that 30-year mark. Because they can't send in, say Chris Pratt's character, who you find out in the movie dies within like 7 or 8 years of present day. Well, if he was alive 30 years from now, you can't risk sending him there and coming in contact with himself.
Because of paradox, which would be Back to the Future or the butterfly effect, depending on which scientific theory of time travel that you kind of.
So in a way, it sucks, because you're kind of like, and he even asks like, well, how do I die? And they're like, well, we can't tell you that.
They'll tell you when.
They'll tell you when. They just won't tell you how. So it kind of sucks, because you're like, well, I'm getting drafted to go fight in this war where the chances are very slim that you come back in the first place, because at the time they go in 30 years in the future, there's not billions of people left on the planet. There's not millions of people left on the planet. I think they said there's like 500,000.
500,000 left.
There's 500,000 people left on the planet in 30 years when they go fight. So your chances of coming back are slim. But if you do come back, you're done. Your tour of duty's done. You don't get recruited to go back again.
Your tour of duty is 7 days, 168 hours.
7 days is your tour of duty. If you make it back alive, there's no going back again unless you volunteer to. So Chris Pratt comes back, and this is where the movie actually turns and gets, it gets better. I don't want to say it gets good, because it was good up until this point, but obviously he's the star, so he makes it back. But then you realize if you make it back, you're like, well, shit, I still die in 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, whatever. And they won't even tell me how, so I can try to avoid it.
So again, if we break this movie out into 3 acts like we've been doing, recently. So the beginning act is the intro, and it's just a really cool, and you've seen it in the trailer. They're in a soccer game. All of a sudden, this vortex opens up. They come out and address the people, letting them know we're here from the future, because if we don't step up, Earth's doomed. It is just an absolutely really cool beginning, and it was well done. Act 2 means we're sending you back or forward in time 30 years.
Act 2 is the conflict, baby, the conflict.
And it was very well done. I really enjoyed it. And you're right. The special effects were big budget. Like, again, if you kind of compare it with Starship Troopers, far superior in terms of...
Well, I wouldn't compare it. You got to compare it to a movie current day. You can't compare it to a 20-year-old
No. But even Starship Troopers, when it came out, the special effects were a notch below due to budgetary reasons.
Right.
This does not have those constraints. And it did. It felt and it looked like a big screen movie. And I like Act 2 was really solid. The conflict was enjoyable. And then Act 3, there's a twist in there. And then they wind up having to try and wrap things up, but with a twist.
Act 3 is the conclusion, like everything. But I will say it felt rushed. I'll say the third act felt rushed with how they wrapped it up. I still recommend watching it.
Yeah.
but I think it felt a little rushed.
But all in all, so my wife and daughter and I, we watched it.
It wasn't too male machismo for your daughter?
No, actually, everybody enjoyed it.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
come on, Susie likes Chris Pratt.
They wouldn't.
He's a hunk of a man.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
and of course, you
Yeah, it is.
have your gratuitous, I'm taking my shirt
Yeah,
off.
right. Which, guys, stop emailing us asking us to take our shirts off. We're not doing gratuitous stuff on this show.
No, that's Andy's morning show.
Right. Exactly.
So, grades. Let's just give it a grade.
I'll straight up 8-0. I'll give it an 8-0, 8 out of 10.
And just like our movie on Monday when we were discussing
Oh my God,
Black Widow.
are we going to be far off?
No, we're not. We are actually dead on. I'm also giving this an 8-0. But like the first movie, Black Widow, we didn't discuss this beforehand. We're just going to save everything for the show. I also came out with an 8-0. This is a movie where I've seen it twice now. Once was because I knew we were going to talk about it. So I had my phone and I'm watching it driving back from Wisconsin. I was in the passenger seat watching it and I'm like, oh, this is really good. I really do want to see this on the big screen. And I'm glad my daughter and wife said, let's watch it. So I'm glad we did. It was worth the second watch. I enjoyed it. I may or may not wind up owning this movie in the long run, but it was definitely worth 2 watches. So I'm down with that.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our movie review.
What I'm going to do is just find out, because I know a lot of people I heard were ripping on Chris Pratt after I watched it the first time, and the critics, the professional critics on Rotten Tomatoes did not like it. They gave it a 54%.
Boo!
And I'm looking at some of
Sissy babies.
Some of the reviews, and it doesn't look like they're ripping on the movie. They're ripping on Chris Pratt, from what I'm seeing, which didn't make a lot of sense because I thought he was very, very good in the movie. The audience, however, is really close to us. They're giving it currently right now a 79%. So
you damn right.
A 7.9. So it's really close to where we're at.
That's right.
So yeah. The audience liked it. It was a solid movie. Good for Amazon for picking this one up. Enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm glad. It wasn't a home run, but it was a good, solid triple.
That's right. It was. We will be back on Friday around 4 o'clock. We'll chat a little Superman and Lois. Loki season finale. We'll chat a little Loki season finale as well. Hey, great movie. There you go. You know it. So we'll be back Friday, talk a little Loki season finale, little Superman and Lois, maybe some more comic book stuff. Even more reason to like it if the critics don't like Chris Pratt. Exactly.
Totally in agreement. And I'm just like,
because God forbid you make a movie where the dad is a good role model and they're still married, and he wants to save his daughter and he wants to protect his family, and his wife is like, okay, go do what you got to do, and stands by his side and stuff. You can't make a movie like that anymore.
If this were a Disney movie, dad would have been a drug user who abandoned the family. The mother would have been raising the girl by herself, and she would have been the one who would have gone in there, and which would have been...
She would have been drafted in, and the dad would have come back and had to take care of the kid, doing his best to clean his act up while the mother go exactly.
Yeah, but that would be the Disney version of this movie. What we got was a good, solid action film that was mostly completely coherent, although there were a few of the scientific stuff I might disagree with a little bit.
Yeah, like time travel.
Yeah, well, no, but even with that, but needless to say, go watch that. And then who do we got Monday on the show?
Monday, we're going to be interviewing a pal of mine I've known for years, Daryl Banks. If that name rings a bell, Daryl Banks worked on Green Lantern in the mid-'90s. He was the guy that created or co-created Kyle Rayner with writer Ron Mars. And he worked on Green Lantern for, I want to say at least 6 or 7 years, had a strong run on the book. And so we're going to be interviewing Daryl Banks on Monday. He's a Morales Republican bad boy now, so boo boo, cancel him. Yeah,
That's
screw those guys. Morals. Oh wait,
It's not Morales. That
It's
would
that-
be Spider-Man.
no, that's not spelled right, is it?
Sure.
No, wouldn't
Yeah.
Morals be Morals?
No, he's right. It's not Morales.
He's a morals Republican. He
He
is.
is a moral. We'll take out the S and just call it a moral.
There you
Republican.
go. Anyhow,
What a great way to. One more comment.
to end the show, me screwing up a word. A second movie could be aliens from the ship coming back looking for their missing buddies. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. From what I've heard, what I've read, it looks like a sequel is a go with the same director, same writer, same
Yes.
cast is coming back. This is what I heard. So originally I heard last week a sequel was being talked about, and then I read that a sequel is on deck. Spell check, guys. Thanks. A sequel will be happening, so who knows? I'm sure Chris Pratt has a busy schedule, so it'll probably be nice. Yes, I would assume a sequel will hopefully hit theaters in 2023, a couple years from now. That's generally the time frame of sequels. So
Yeah, they did leave it up potentially for a sequel
yeah, they did.
because of with the aliens in there or the aliens, which I'm not going to say anymore because it will spoil it.
That's right.
That is kind of interesting. Again, think Prometheus. But anyway,
That's right.
I can't wait to see what they do with it. Hopefully, it's as good as this one.
Yep. So, guys, join us Friday at 4 o'clock. Join us Monday at 6 o'clock for our interview with Daryl Banks. He'll be taking questions and all that fun stuff. So, until then, guys, you don't have to. You know, guys, we try to do a good show, but really, no standing applause. You don't have to do that. We're going to go grab some pizza. We'll see you guys on Friday at 4 o'clock. Until then, hang loose, hang tough, and bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.